The reigning monarch, Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, will commemorate her 90th birthday on 21st April 2016. The Virgin Islands also recognized the 50th anniversary of Her Majesty's first visit to the territory on 23rd February 2016. Fond memories exist from the people of this territory who witnessed the 1966 visit. The Office of the Deputy Governor was able to dialogue with a few persons who vividly recalled their memories of that experience, and today we'll share the finale of a 3-part feature highlighting the 1966 visit. Mrs. Sylvia Adams was the second person to present Her Majesty with a bouquet of flowers during that first visit to the territory in 1966. Here, she shares her joys, her excitement as she relives that experience.
I was 11 at that time. I was in Farm 1. We had to do, at that time you just had 5 high school classes, Farm 1 to Farm 5, one of each. And so I was chosen. And at that time I didn't stop to ask why. I was so happy to be chosen. But later on, I found out that it was because I was the brightest girl at the time. And I was a first in the class. I remember when we went to register that September, we had to walk from way up in the country down to Rotong. I walked with my mommy. I couldn't even remember what we were wearing. We were dressed alike in 2 lilac dresses. And we got there a little late. Almost everybody was seated there. And so we got in and sat at the back. And my name was the first name to be called, and everybody looking around wanted to know why is this little girl being called first? So we went into high school. And then lo and behold, there was great excitement. The Queen is coming. And that was a big thing because in those days, you heard about the Queen because that you used to have Empire Day and you used to sing all the patriotic songs and so on. And you used to get your bag with treats, candy and stuff, and your glass of red water, and then you had a races on Empire Day. You used to have the pageant with patriotic songs and so you knew all about the Queen. So it was a big thing that the Queen is coming, and so you had to prepare for that visit. And preparation meant, well, they told me you're chosen, and you have to present this bouquet. And so you had to learn to curtsy, you had to learn to step and how to present yourself. So I felt quite kind of excited about the whole thing. You know why? Because my birthday was the same as Prince Charles. So I always used to fancy myself and all. Then it was only recently we stopped having a holiday. So I always used to privately fancy myself to be a princess because I had the same birth date as Prince Charles. So we knew all about England and about the Queen, and so it was great excitement. And here I am being chosen, and and my mama, she was real proud, and she got everything ready. And on that day now, normally we would have to walk from way up in the country down to town to go to school. But yeah, at that young age, but there were only a few vehicles, you see. Probably about 3 or 4, at least. Only 2 or 3 I knew of that were owned by people from my area. And so, but that morning I got a ride. She arranged for me because she done iron your hair the night before and use the paper rollers and things, so I was looking nice and sharp. So you can't walk down the dusty road because we didn't have any paved roads. You couldn't walk down the dusty roads, so I had my shoes were nicely polished and everything, so I'm brand new. She sold a nice big bunch of bananas, and in that day it could buy a new set of clothes and socks and ribbon and everything. So I'm sharp. I couldn't walk to school. But even before that, when you get up in the morning, you had to do all kind of chores. You had to go to the well and bring water, and so to fill up the containers for to do the laundry, to wash the clothes and stuff. So that morning I didn't have to do mine. The others did my share. So I felt, really special. And I got my ride and I came down to town. and to wait. You had your flag, and I had this bouquet. Oh Lord, I nearly died. I was so nervous. I remember there were lots of people there who wanted to take a picture, but I'm there, and my lips are folded. Sylvie, unfold your lips and relax so we can take your picture. And so I don't know. In those days there weren't many cameras, so we didn't even own a camera, and so something like that you would want to. Now, if it was nowadays, you would have many pictures of it, but I don't have a picture to show. But I remember many people wanting to take your picture, and then you hear from down the street, she's coming, and oh, we're so excited. And she came in riding on a convertible. I think it belonged to Mr. Allbruley. He had a convertible, and she came in right. That time the streets was that nice and smooth, no potholes. They had brought in some of that, like that crushed, the crusher waste, and they had it nice and smooth. And she drove in, and I could remember when she drove in, and she got out, and there was a set of children. So I'm out at the top of the line now, and she's like a long, like if it's a long corridor, and she's coming along. Oh, poor me! I'm there shaking, and I could even hear Mr. Scott's voice now saying, "Your Majesty, we would like to present to you a bouquet." And I don't know, it's my turn, and I'm stepping forward, and I'm wondering if I'm going to stumble. But I managed to get it done well and to courtesy, and well, to me that wasn't the end of it for me. I'm still thinking of myself as a princess, and I'm still happy that I presented to the Queen, and somehow later on in life I'll end up in England.
As an adult, Mrs. Adams visited London with the hopes of meeting Her Majesty once more.
I think it was in 2010. We went on a trip. I went on a trip with some women from the church. We went all to South Africa, but when we came back, we spent a week in London. Well, of course, we had to go to the palace. All these years after, and look at the changing of the guards, and we were hoping to catch a glimpse of the Queen. We also wanted to tour the palace because I had this secret desire to be in this place so that I could act like a princess, even though I'm old now. But by the time we got there to get a chance to go into the palace, they said that they had the required number for the day, so we did not get to tour the palace, and we did not catch a glimpse of the Queen at all because we just saw one or two persons who came to the palace to do business on that day.
Mrs. Sylvia Adams was touched that the Queen found it fit to visit this territory and shared how happy she was of her British heritage.
To this day, I really reverence that Britishness, To me, it has brought so much into our lives. As opposed to being an American, there is so much, such a difference that the Britishness has given to us. Because like even growing up as children, well, when you had Empire Day, you were taught about patriotism and to love your country and so on. And part of our Britishness is you could always have prayer and so on in the schools. And so if we were in America, so you couldn't do that. You can't do that. You can't pray in schools and so on. And so to me, those are the kinds of things that really made us what we are. That prayerfulness, the pride, and so on. Nowadays, we have become so kind of Americanized that we have lost this younger generation. Now, all people of all generation still have those feelings of pride and those kinds of things, but we have not taught it to this younger generation. They are more Americanized, and Kentucky Fried Chicken and those kinds of things. But I think that we have lost something. The way that we have departed from the way that we were brought up, from this Britishness that we were brought up with. Well, even some of the things in Britain they have departed from, that the people of our generation would still hold on to. You understand? But being a part of Britain and being in touch with the Queen. That was, in that day, that was something big. That was a big thing for me. And it really made a difference in my life as I grew up. You know, you had this kind of memory to look back upon about the way that the way that you touched the Queen. That was a big thing. You could reach out and be presented to the Queen. That really did a lot for my self-esteem as a young person. That you know, I was from a poor, my mother had many children. My mother had 14 children, you know, and then in those days life was hard. But to think that me, a poor little girl from the country to boot, I wasn't even from town. I was from up in the country. A poor country girl was presented to the Queen. That did a world of good for me, for my self-esteem.
Mrs. Sylvia Adams bid the Queen a happy 90th birthday.
Well, I wish her a very happy 90th, and I thank her for her interest, because she made 2 visits here. She made, you know, that we were not too small. You know, I guess we were some of the smallest ones in the Commonwealth, but we were not too small for her to take time to come and to show us that she cared about us, and she cared enough to come to these lovely islands of ours. I am so happy for the heritage that we gained from being British. I am proud to be British. I'm really proud to be British, and I hope that she lives for a good deal longer. She seems in good health, and she seemed, for her age, she seemed to be doing very well. So I wish her well, and I am thankful. I'm thankful, very thankful to be British.
Thank you for viewing this final feature in our 3-part special presentation highlighting the 1966 visit of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II as we celebrate her 90th birthday.